Yo, what's up guys? It's Justin Woltering here with the My Muscle Academy. Let's talk about training around nagging aches and pains. So if you've been in the iron game for a while, you're gonna get hurt. It's unavoidable. Even if you've stayed healthy for years, one bad rep or even a slip or fall outside the gym can leave you tweaked with a nagging injury. Plus, every rep, every set, every workout is gonna put a certain amount of wear and tear on your body. So if you're a hard training athlete, what you have to think about is we're not exercising for health. You have to make sure that your training is not interfering with your health. Fortunately, there are more than enough ways to train around nagging aches and pains before they become serious injuries that keep you out of the gym. So to do so, you need a little know-how, some diligence, and some willingness to try different things. So pushing through the pain may work for a little while, but it will come back to haunt you. Try these fixes instead. The shoulders. The shoulders are the most mobile joint in the upper body, but it's this mobility that makes them so vulnerable. You have all these small muscles in the rotator cuff, your supraspinatus, teres major, teres minor, and a bunch more ligaments and tendons. So it makes us very vulnerable. And when you're working with this shoulder joint, if you're feeling pain, you have to avoid the movements that are bothering you. So if you're not a competitive power lifter, avoid the moves that are hurting you. If it's overhead press, dips, bench press, whatever it might be. So there's plenty of ways to stimulate the pecs, delts, and tris without feeling this pain. So find what works for you. And more importantly, know the alignment of your core, your internal obliques, your transverse abdominis, and your scapula. So your scapula being flat and pinched back on your pressing movements is so important that you avoid that impingement in the front of the shoulder. The lower back. Lower back health is worthy of a video of its own. And since I'm not a doctor, I can't recommend anything for a slip disc, herniation, or any other serious condition. But so often what happens with the low back, besides being weak, is that the glutes are not firing properly. So if your low back is compensating for you on your squats and your deadlifts, it means your glutes are not firing properly. So making sure that your glutes, specifically your right glute, are working properly is gonna put your hips into alignment, which will deactivate that pain in your lower back. So make sure that your glutes are always firing, and this will guarantee to reduce inflammation in your lower back. The knees. So knee pain is a huge issue for long-term lifters and taller lifters as well. So being both, I know how this topic works, and I've helped so many guys work through this. So there's all these gurus out there that claim that no matter what, your knees should be okay. You can always go as heavy as possible, and I call BS. You have to be intelligent. You have to understand how to get that patella, your kneecap, into alignment. So what's most important here is your ankle and hip stability, making sure that knee is straight, which for most lifters is a narrow or moderate stance. Also with knee pain, guys, what you want to think about is what range of motion works best for your body type. Not everybody can go ass to the grass. Some people may be squatting just to parallel. So just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean it's right for your bone length and your leverages. So be really intelligent with your knee training and understand that, the knees weren't built to have these huge, massive comic book legs, but still we want those wheels. So if you want these huge legs, understand that the quads respond very well to 60 or 70% of your max weight. So if you're feeling knee pain, maybe bring the reps up a little bit and the weight down. The hips. The low back, the knees, the hips, one of these will eventually give you trouble. So if you're a lifter with a longer torso, odds are that low back might light up once in a while. If you have longer femurs, odds are it's going to create impingement in that hip. So just like the shoulder, this is a complex ball and socket joint with all kinds of ligaments, tendons, and muscles. You have your adductors, your quads, your IT bands, your glutes, your hamstrings, all tying in here. You have to make sure you have the proper length-tension relationship. So when it comes to squatting, what I recommend is a narrow or shoulder width stance with a high bar placement on your upper traps. Unless you're a competitive lifter who wants to use that low bar back placement to make sure you're getting as strong as possible. The elbows. Elbow problems aren't as common as hips or knees, but in my experience I've seen they're still common amongst guys who are really strong on the bench and other pressing movements. So if these are bothering you, however, I look at other things besides pressing movements that could be the potential cause. If you're going super heavy on skull crushers, stop. Arm training should not be as heavy as squatting, pulling, and pressing, since your relatively smaller elbows have to take the load. Lighten the load on your skull crushers and still get that 15 to 20 rep range to get maximum stimulation out of the muscle, but less wear and tear on the joint. Another cause of elbow pain could be your placement on the barbell while you're squatting. So when you're in the squat position, if your elbows are in too tight, you do want to shoot the elbows forward for proper torso alignment, but if you're too far forward, you're really stressing all these ligaments and tendons at the end of the elbow. So what you want to do is open up your stance, get a wider grip on the bar, and get down in that squat and protect those elbows. Playing it safe. Ultimately, all these fixes I've outlined for you today, guys, won't mean a damn thing if you just power through the pain. This might make sense once in a while if you have a competition or a photo shoot, but for the most part, you need to approach each training session with a long-term mindset. If your shoulders are killing you today, you could rest and recover and come back stronger. But if you go ham, this could set you back for months. So be smart, guys, and be intelligent with your exercise selection. And to get access to my full 12-week video trainer, head over to justinwoltering.com and join the Mind Muscle Academy.